Once you learn how to fast, you start to see your body in this whole new way. It can absolutely heal itself. So for me, fasting became this incredible tool that everybody could do. And we just had to learn how to do it.
Dr. Mindy Pelz, one of the world's leading fasting experts, says most of us have been eating too often, and it's silently destroying our metabolism, inflaming our joints, and locking belly fat in place. In this video, you're getting the complete fasting playbook. We'll break down exactly what happens inside your body hour by hour when you stop eating, how your cells start healing themselves, and, most importantly, which type of fast is actually right for you. Whether you want mental clarity, weight loss, or to finally lose that stubborn belly fat, the answer is in here. Stay until the end, because the one fast Dr. Pelz calls her favorite for belly fat in women. Let's start with what's actually happening inside your body the moment you put the fork down. Here's something most people have never been told. You don't have one metabolism, you have two.
Is that you have two metabolisms. So you burn energy when you eat, and you burn energy when you don't eat.
But the first is your sugar-burning metabolism. Every time you eat, especially carbohydrates and sugars, your blood sugar rises, and your body burns that glucose for energy. This is the system most of us live in all day long, especially if we're snacking constantly or eating every few hours. The second is your fat-burning metabolism. This one only kicks in when blood sugar drops low enough, when your body realizes no more food is coming in. That's when it makes the metabolic switch.
If you want a faster metabolism, you need to know how to metabolically switch. You need to know how to go from sugar burner to fat burner. And that's where you start to lose weight.
Dr. Pelz describes it like a hybrid car. Most of us are stuck running on one fuel source. But the moment you stop eating long enough, your body flips a switch and taps into stored fat for energy instead. That switch is everything. And fasting is how you trigger it. So what actually happens hour by hour when you stop eating? It takes roughly 8 hours for your body to begin making the metabolic switch from sugar burner to fat burner. By 12 hours, something remarkable starts happening. Your body begins producing ketones.
It switches over into this fat-burning energy system. It starts to make a byproduct called a ketone. And that ketone will go up into the brain, and it starts to repair your brain. And what most people don't realize is your brain needs 50% ketones, 50% glucose. So you're giving a fuel source to your brain that it desperately needs.
Ketones are a byproduct of fat burning, and they are fuel for your brain. Dr. Pelz points out that the brain actually needs about 50% of its fuel to come from ketones, but most people never give it that source because they're always eating. When ketones finally reach the brain, people report sharper thinking, better focus, and that brain fog they've been living with simply lifts.
Which is why people, when they fast, are like, their mental clarity goes up, their cognition improves, their brain fog goes away, because you're literally giving a fuel source to your brain that it may never have been given before. It takes about somewhere between 8 hours to metabolically switch over into this fat-burning place.
But it gets even more interesting. Ketones also switch off the hunger hormone, ghrelin. So somewhere around the 12-hour mark, many people notice they're not actually that hungry anymore. The hunger they thought was real? It fades. Then, around 13 to 15 hours, the benefits multiply fast. Growth hormone rises, the hormone responsible for keeping you young and helping you burn fat. Inflammation begins to drop, which is why people with chronic joint pain often feel dramatic relief just from consistent 15-hour fasting windows. And in men, research shows testosterone can increase by up to 1,300% from a 13 to 15-hour fast. Your body isn't being deprived, it's being repaired. Dr. Pelz teaches that fasting is not one size fits all. She outlines different types based on how long you fast and what healing state you're trying to reach. Type 1, intermittent fasting, 12 to 16 hours.
Is when we switch over.
Yeah.
So now we're in the fat burning place. At about 13 to 15 hours, we start making ketones. This is intermittent fasting. That's pretty much what most people, when they say they're intermittent fasting, that's what they're doing.
This is where most people start. You compress your eating into a window, say 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and leave the remaining hours for fasting. During this window, you're making ketones. Testosterone is rising, inflammation is dropping, and weight loss is possible. It's approachable, sustainable, and highly effective for many people. Type 2. Autophagy fasting, 17 hours.
Fasting is about 17 hours in without food, your cells will turn within and they'll start to heal themselves. And that was what Dr. Osumi's big discovery is that the cells clean themselves up. So what's interesting on this one, and this is something I really want to get out to the world, is that when you stimulate autophagy, what you're doing is you're turning on the intelligence inside the cell, and that intelligence is looking around and it's going, hey, there's a virus, there's a bacteria, get them out. So let's push these infections out of the cell. That mitochondria, it's not working well. We need to repair it. That endoplasmic reticulum inside here, it's lagging. We need to fix it. So it literally goes in and fixes everything inside the cell just at 17 hours.
Type 3. The gut reset fast, 24 hours. At 24 hours, the gut gets a deep reset. The digestive system gets a full break, inflammation in the gut lining drops, and the microbiome begins to rebalance. Type 4. The dopamine reset fast, 48 hours. Research shows that 48 hours of fasting can actually reboot the dopamine system. For people struggling with food addiction or emotional eating, this is significant. Overeaters often have saturated dopamine receptors, meaning they need more and more food to feel pleasure. After a 48-hour fast, new receptor sites emerge. Food becomes satisfying again, with far less of it. Now for what Dr. Pelz calls her absolute favorite, fast for women struggling with stubborn belly fat, the 36-hour fast. Here's the science behind why it works so powerfully. When you reach 36 hours of fasting, your blood sugar has been low for an extended period. Your body has already cycled through ketosis, triggered autophagy, and cleared out damaged cells. Now, it faces a new decision. Where does it get its energy from next? It goes after stored fat, and specifically the fat stored in the belly. Why belly fat? Because insulin resistance shows up in the gut first. That stubborn midsection weight is often the last to go with regular dieting because it's tied to chronically elevated insulin. The 36-hour fast gives the body long enough to bring insulin all the way down and finally unlock those fat stores. A 2019 study published in Cell Metabolism looked at participants who alternated 36 hours of fasting with 12 hours of eating for 30 days. The results were striking. They stayed in ketosis the entire 30 days, cholesterol dropped, inflammation dropped, and most of the fat loss happened specifically around the belly.
So when you're exercising in a fasted state, you're getting ketones and your muscles are releasing stored sugar, which is great for anybody who wants to lose weight because now you can lean out those muscles. Now let's go back to what our primal ancestors did. When they came home, they ate meat, they ate protein, and they stimulated something called mTOR. mTOR is when you actually create muscle growth. And what we now know is it takes about 30 grams of protein to trigger these amino acid receptor sites in the muscles to cause them to grow stronger. So for you, if you work out in a fasted state, you're going to release all those stores, you're going to have those ketones for performance, but then you want to follow that up with protein so you can build your muscles strong. And that is a hack that has worked incredibly well for so many people.
Dr. Pelz recommends breaking the 36-hour fast with protein, at least 30 grams, to trigger muscle repair and stimulate the muscle-building process called mTOR. This way, you're not just burning fat, you're building a leaner, more metabolically efficient body that burns fat better every single day afterward. Dr. Mindy Pelz's message is ultimately this: your body was built to heal itself. Fasting isn't deprivation, it's a return to the biological rhythm your body was designed for. From the simple 12-hour fast to the powerful 36-hour reset, each window of not eating is a window of deep repair. The question isn't whether fasting works. The question is, which fast is right for you right now?